The other one was the middle one was what?
The middle one was when does an addict stop blaming? This is a great question. Stop blaming the parents and friends and start taking responsibility for their actions and their drug use.
Man, well, it depends on how much blame the parents put on you. I mean, I think that goes back and forth. But that is a strong one. And by the way, the Amanda Bynes thing I have nailed, so hold on.
Okay.
That's a strong one because there's so much. If you're poorly raised, and most people are,
Yeah.
by the way, if you're poorly raised, you have such a rage and negative response to anything that involves family reunions and relatives that it just create. If you're not in some sort of recovery program or therapy, just creates more resentments. I still have an uncle that I hate. He's dead.
Right.
Because he didn't like my mom, and we were Abe Lincoln poor, and he was very wealthy and never helped my mom or anything. And so to this day, I hold that resentment, and I've got to make that amends someday, I guess at his gravesite. But well, what was the question?
Well, the question is, when do you stop blaming them?
Yeah. You probably never do. You can control it. I mean, how many people do you know who say, "I hate my dad. I'll never get along with him"?
Right.
But I think I don't think you get over stuff like that. I think you can control it to a point where you say you're over it. You don't have to act as if every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that
That's a tough one. Parenting is a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely. I know that I blamed my family a lot. I mean, not necessarily for I do cocaine.
See, I never did.
Because
My dad was a very active alcoholic. I mean, he drank all the time.
And you never blamed him for the fact.
Well, he never hit me, so
Right.
that's good.
Yeah.
And he was kind of amusing. I'll tell you, it's in my book. My dad used to drag me. My dad, Joe O'Brien, just a handsome
No
guy.
doubt.
And just dashing Golden Gloves champ and life of the party, and just he left us when we were 3, but I lived with him in the summertime. But he would take me to, I would get there. I would take a train from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, age 7. Take the train to Des Moines, a transfer at age 7 to a bus, and then he'd pick me up at the bus station in Knoxville, Iowa, and then usually take me to the fair or something, and then go right to a bar and just, tell the guy, put this guy on 20 rides. But one time I was about 8 or 9, I remember this like it was yesterday, and he took me to a bar, and I was sitting in the corner drinking chocolate pop. You ever had chocolate pop?
No, it sounds delicious, and I want
it's
some.
addicting.
That you should offer.
No,
you should have offered me that.
It is chocolate pop. It's got seltzer in it. Anyway, so I'm looking at my dad, and he's there at the table. He's telling a story. Everybody's laughing at him, and they all got the tall Budweisers there and the shots. The scene. And finally, my dad looked over at me, and this is probably about the only thing that he really did for me. He looked over at me, and he walked over. He called me Patty. He said, "Patty, this is who your daddy is." And at the time, I thought, yeah, well, my dad's a cool guy. He's funny, and people listen to him. And now I almost cry when I say those words because that was his way of saying to me, this is about what you're going to get.
Right.
I'm in a bar. I'm getting drunk with my friends.
Right.
And in my book, when I dedicate it to my son, I'll probably write, this is who your daddy is.